Today's episode of In the Trenches is brought to you by System 12 Guitar Method. Sign up today at ryanroxie.com.
In the Trenches with Ryan Roxie.
Hello, 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 and welcome to another live stream episode of In the Trenches with Ryan Roxie. I am your host, Ryan Roxie, but it's not about me today. Today, it's all about the SoapGirls. Yeah, it is. Our guests today come via South Africa, and although they have been touring internationally since 2015, they have hunkered down in their own trenches, so to speak, since the early days of the pandemic, pumping out nearly 300 live stream performances. 300! They've done 300, performance and shows, everything. You got to check out their YouTube. Not right now, after this after this podcast is done. And by the way, if this is your first time watching the podcast, hit that subscribe button right now. We appreciate you listening to us on all the audio broadcasts, but we want you on the YouTube official channel, which is Ryan Roxie Official. So here to talk about that journey, from selling soap on the streets to releasing multiple albums, building their own do-it-yourself empire in the process, would you welcome into the trenches from the band SoapGirls, sisters Me and Mille.
Hey, what's up? Hello.
Hello.
Hey, what's happened? I'm so happy to get you guys in the podcast. I know that we don't have a super long time to talk to you because you are always busy doing your own live streams, and you have another one set to go off in about an hour. So we got you girls for just 1 hour, right?
Yeah, well, we're very honored to be on your show. First of all, thank you very, very much.
Thank you.
And yeah, we have a zombie themed show, so we're gonna have to transform our faces and the space around us.
But it's fine. We're used to it.
Yeah.
You guys look great right now in the trenches. You guys are, like I said, everything since the first time I checked out one of your live streams, you guys have been that performance. And there is a lot of performance involved in the show. And it all started out back in the days of selling soap on the streets. So that's why for the people that haven't been introduced to the SoapGirls just yet, we want to go back to get forward and hear the whole story. What do you say, Vic? Yeah. We're doing everything kind of quick right now because we know we only got you for a limited time. But born in France, but you're raised in South Africa, right?
Yeah,
Yep.
Cape Town, South Africa.
Yeah.
Nice. Now,
So we're very mixed.
but through all of that, you kind of learned a bunch of different languages, because I know Afrikaans. My wife's from Cape Town as well. She speaks Afrikaans and English and a bit of German. But you guys learned a lot of different languages from selling soap on the streets. And was it? Now wait a second. Vic will put up some pictures from time to time. Our producer. That's why we want you in the live chat, folks, on our YouTube channel. If you're only listening to us on the audio. Now, is that one of the early pictures of you guys selling soap?
No,
that wasn't
actually,
even...
we were like 8 and 9 initially.
So we were even smaller.
Yeah, we were little kids.
But that was, yeah.
Oh my God, we wore Crocs.
Jesus Christ.
Burn that photo. Basically what happened was you can't grow up in a country like South Africa being oblivious to obviously the fact that there's a lot of extreme poverty around us. We weren't super well off ourselves or anything, but we definitely weren't living in a shack or on the streets. So
being surrounded and being exposed to that, then you want to do something.
Yeah,
about
otherwise cheapers, you feel like a piece of shit human being. You can't just ignore hungry people. And even in the newspapers, they have a lot of amazing doctors and nurses working with really bad equipment because
the healthcare sucks.
Yeah, I mean the doctors and nurses are amazing, but they don't.
So you were initially doing this with charity. You were
we went 365 days a year for 8 years, and we raised funds for public hospitals, children's homes, old age homes.
But we would put on a little show and street perform, and there would be tourists from
around the world.
Any country you can name, and we would have to, because people would be like, no
comprendo,
comprendo, I don't understand.
Yo no entiendo.
And then you'd be like, oh, okay, well, let's fucking learn in their language how you say, like, do a little spiel thing and say soap, how much it was.
Happy Birthday seemed like the easiest song to know in every single language.
Pieces in every language, so we could say
you
to
learned
them,
that.
hey, and they'd be like, oh shit, okay.
Yeah, and we spoke in sync, which freaked the shit out of people.
Yeah.
Well, you guys tend to do that a lot. You tend to finish each other's sentences. I've watched a bunch of your live streams as well. But the thing about learning all these different languages, it's amazing that you guys would do it to sell soap and do your performance to make money for charity. As you know, once you started touring internationally at around 2015 and long, you start learning how to say cheers in a bunch of different
Kampai, man.
No. I think the word that I learned in every single language, it's a bit rude. I don't know.
I don't want to know. I don't want to know.
You can say whatever you want. This is the internet. What is it?
Okay, so basically, I would say in every language, good evening and welcome, you cunts. Like on stage.
You can say it in German, Italian.
In some reason, in the UK, the C word is not at all bad.
Oh no, it's a friendly word.
Yeah.
Hey, you cunts, how you doing?
Yeah. What's up? How you going?
But if you say that in America, I guess people are like, oh my God, what the?
It's a devil chat.
Oh my God, like people are shocked.
This is my wife's, and she's gonna cringe when she's watching this right now. If you say the F word in America, not so big, FANNY, right? But in the UK, it's not cool at all.
Yeah, because I think in America, fanny
means your butt and your face.
And your face. And some people will call it fanny.
Yeah, I mean, it's even a French name, I think, or an old English name.
There's a lot of Scandinavians up here named Fanny as well. So I'm up here at the North Pole.
You won't get that here. People would be like,
yeah, that's the thing. I can't even say that word. The fact that I just said it, I'm feeling the heat right now.
Actually, the worst word for me is the P word. Like, I don't mind saying pussycat, but if someone refers to like, it's like, it's like, ew. I hate that.
So you've learned the C word in every language, me. That's it's very impressive. I've learned.
Man, she's classy like that.
How to call the audience cunts.
Yeah, people love it. Especially when we go to France, we really enjoy using the most shocking language, and people are like, yeah.
Do you know what it is though? I think when you say it in another language, it doesn't sound as bad. Because maybe it's not your mother tongue, maybe not in
your
French,
mother
but
tongue,
like
and you don't get it.
It's like, si stronzi.
Yeah.
What is cheers in Afrikaans?
Gezondheid, I think. Well, that's like health.
Like, yeah.
How do they say cheers? Actually,
cheers.
I don't know. I actually don't fucking know.
I think I just say gezondheid.
I know it's baie lekker to have you guys here. That's
buy a donkey.
Buy a donkey. Okay. And the thing is, you guys learned all these different language from doing your soap performance / selling the show, selling the performance down by the harbor. And if anyone's ever been down to Cape Town Harbor, they'll know that there's a lot of tourists down there, and that's how it all began, right? Around that area.
Yeah. Well, Hout Bay, it's a tiny little fishing village, and initially we actually went door to door, but our mom freaked out because we thought, we could be Girl Scouts. It's not really the same in South Africa. It's quite dangerous.
Unsafe,
so she was like, no. And so we would walk down to the harbor, and there would be tourist buses. They'd give us the mic,
and we'd be like,
we turned it into a show.
Yeah.
And then around 14 or 15, you guys, when was that when the music bug started, or was it even before then?
It was earlier than that, but we just didn't really have the means and opportunity like to get into like recording. We just didn't have the money, and also we didn't know like where do we go and stuff. So
we met when we were doing like a little show at the harbor. Then this guy was like, hey,
I got a studio,
do you want to come and do some songs in my studio? And we were like,
cool, okay, yeah, like fuck it,
why not? So then we went and we recorded a bunch of terrible songs,
like
horrendous.
It's actually so bad, man.
But they were your songs, right? It's always been your songs, but maybe perhaps not in the style that you wanted until now.
I think people try to influence too much what they saw for us because we were kids, and then they were like, okay, you need to be like Hannah Montana, and it's like, it's not us, man.
Yeah, they would take something that they thought, this is a problem, I think, especially in South Africa. So they won't take something original, and if they do, then they'll always try and change and be like, okay, well, this is working overseas, so let's copy that, and you can be like that version but from here. which is stupid.
It is stupid. They should just embrace being original. But a lot of people here will.
But it was always
stay safe.
It was always other people putting their own
vision of us onto ourselves, and we hated it.
We hated it.
So we went from studio to studio. A lot of really dodgy experiences, especially when we were in our young teens.
Yeah, when I look back, then it's like, wow. So a lot of people will say to us, it's like we're saying, help us. No,
a lot of people.
That was in New York.
Yeah,
that picture.
A lot of people would I don't know, think. Like, you know, the way that we dress, like we would get a lot of trouble. Like as we've gotten older and like very comfortable in our skin,
we've
people
noticed
don't fuck around with you.
But when you're younger, and that's why we're always so glad that we have a really good manager that always looked out for us. Because like being young and in that industry, you can, I don't know, get exposed to a lot of
dodgy shit. Like, so we even had a producer and a sound engineer guy pulling out a gun. He was on his cocaine binges, and he would like just bring out a gun and like go ape shit, and we would just be in the booth like okay,
because like if we didn't get a take right or something,
then he started threatening us,
and
but he was like completely off his tits, and we're like
it's like that's not a good way to get a good take out of someone.
No.
And so he had the gun like Phil Spector. He had the same gun as Phil Spector. He just didn't have the production quality.
You see, if he got good results out of it, we would have been like, you know what, go for it.
Use a fucking bazooka.
But no, it was horrible. And so eventually, after a lot of fucked up shit, we thought it was the best thing ever in the world to we'd always dreamt of being signed to a major label, and we were signed to Universal Music in South Africa.
At 14 and 15 years old, you're signed to this major label, but that's not your future, you guys. Because what I'm most impressed is the DIY, the whole story of you guys just doing it yourself. So explain how that happened.
Okay,
so basically when we were with the record label, like as young as we were, then to us that was like, oh my god, that's it. Like
they know what to do. They're gonna, like, you know, we've got vision and they got the funds. They're gonna like allow us to do what we want to do.
But that's not how it works. It's basically like a meat market where they're just churning out.
So they wanted us to be like Lady Gaga of South Africa, which we were like, we really dig her, but I mean, what the fuck?
Why can't we just be our own
And
thing?
So it was a huge struggle, creative like control,
fighting for creative freedom. And
it took us 4 years to get out of the contract, and eventually we did. And then we had nothing, and we were pretty much blackballed in the South African music industry because
we
obviously
said fuck you to them. So they were like, well, you're not gonna ever do anything here again.
So Heat magazine, People magazine, all those kinds of things. We'd been in the pop circuit, and that we were like just really like, no, we were social pariahs here. Like people wouldn't even work with us because they didn't want to piss off someone else. And
you even have an album name that's basically Society's Rejects, or what is it? One of your album titles.
Society's Rejects. That was the second one that we released independently.
Yeah. So we just kept on like uploading videos to YouTube and just writing nonstop. And then we got to New York. We teamed up with people from New York, and again,
really cool studio,
really fucking awesome, and a really good experience. But what happened was the music that we done organically in the studio, just with guitars.
When they played it back to us, they had like remixed it and made it EDM music, which is cool. I love EDM music, but that's not what we wanted to do.
Like we were like, no, like
what the fuck is this?
We just left it,
and
we were offered a lot of money to sign to another major label, and people told us we were stupid because we were literally like starving at the time.
We were fucked.
And we heard what they did in the studio, and we're like, no, we're getting the fuck out of here.
So we left and got out of that contract, and then we just
kept uploading onto
videos onto YouTube
and did whatever we could to survive. Like there was one point where I wanted to sell my own blood. We were illegal immigrants, which was really fucked up because we tried to go and get legalized in South Africa,
and there's a lot of corruption here
and
at the Home Affairs office. So it took us years to finally get our papers.
And then eventually we'd never done anything like it. We just lived in a complete bubble just doing music, and we had to do, like, we were waitresses, and we were like, how the fuck do we do this? And that's how we wrote the song Champagne Cocaine,
because we were exposed to a lot of
fucked up shit. And it was just interesting, but everything
you guys do finish your sentences a lot.
it adds layers to you as a person, and I'm really grateful. So for the good and the bad, there was some fucked up shit that we almost ended up getting into because
like what?
Like I ain't gonna talk about it. Like to just be able to survive, because we were like getting evicted. We had nothing. And
so someone from the UK, they sent us a message and they were like, hey,
I really love what you're doing.
Would you ever tour the UK?
I would love to bring you over to tour. And we were like, yeah, fucking right. How many times have we heard this shit before? Like someone's just taking the piss.
Hey, you should come and play.
And this is around 2015, I'm assuming, right?
No, before 2014.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then, so then we went over.
No, not in that year. We were like talking about it for ages, and we thought, this person's just dragging us along. But we were like, the hope is keeping us alive. Let's just fucking keep on writing and doing it.
And then in 2015, then we were getting ready to go over for real. We were like, oh shit, it's really happening.
We couldn't believe it, because people told us, oh, you'll never get out of here and shit. And we're like, okay.
But we always like push through.
Yeah, exactly. We knew exactly what we wanted to do, even though it seemed fucking impossible. So you look at South Africa at the bottom of the world on a map, and you think, how the fuck did we, in the worst times, we knew where we wanted to go, and we were going to get there. And so we got to the UK, and we did a show, and the band that we were supporting was this like band that they had a big following, but they didn't really like us. They actually insulted us.
Yeah, they fucking hated us.
but then like all their fans watched the show and they're like, hang on, this is proper punk, fuck yeah. And then people started talking and talking.
You won them over.
But the funniest thing about it though was, so obviously before we left, we had to have an album or something to tour with, because you can't.
We had nothing.
We were like, oh fuck, well we need an album.
Got a whole load of songs, but like
so we worked like even harder, double shifts.
We did like we worked 6 hours a day, like doing double
7
shifts,
days a week.
Yeah.
And then like walking.
Oh no, not 6 hours, 6 days a week. It was illegal to do 7.
And then walking across this mountain to get to the place of work, because we didn't have enough money to pay for the toll and the petrol, but we did it anyway.
Our shoes had holes in them, man.
Even now when I look at it, I'm like, how the fuck do we do that?
But like, we knew what we wanted, so we're like, we don't give a fuck. And people saw us wage saying, oh my god, the SoapGirls fell from grace. Like dissing us, and sometimes you'd cry on the inside, or you'd go to the bathroom, you're like, ah! And then
I would just be like, it's okay, you can diss me, but I'm touching your food.
Bitch. And but we were like, we're not gonna stop. We know where we're going. We let people laugh, talk shit, and we're like, yeah. And then we got to the UK.
But we went in the studio and we did 16 songs in
one day. Actually, I think let's just say 2 days, because it was probably a day and a half.
Yeah.
We definitely did some pre-production before that. That's amazing.
Yeah, we met the drummer, and on the day we were like, okay, dude, these are the songs. We're gonna play it once with you, and then let's fucking do it.
Yeah. So
that's a very raw album, Calls for Rebellion.
That was the first one. Yeah.
Everybody, I can officially go on record saying interviewing the SoapGirls is is like a little bit like herding kittens. It's almost it's like herding cats right now. I'm just trying to keep it all together. Everybody breathe. If you're in the chat room right now, everybody take a big breath, because I don't think the girls have taken a breath since the interview started. But it's amazing how they finish each other's sentence and how we've gotten so much in such a quick time. We've heard a lot of the story. I've heard of people selling their soul for rock and roll, not selling their blood, but the SoapGirls definitely have. What I wanted to get to, just because I know that you're telling this whole story of how you're getting up to right now in this DIY method that you've been using, I want to talk about the musicianship and what got you into guitars, because you first both played guitar. Is that and did you both pick it up at a very young age? Because I know that you're very distinctual of what types of music you like too. Because you think because they finish each other's sentences and they have all these similarities, that they would have similar music tastes. So what is it about? When did you decide, Mille, to go to switch over to bass? And was it both you playing guitar at first for years, or what happened?
Yeah.
So we both picked up the guitar. I think.
I mean, the first guitar we ever got was a pink Hello Kitty
Fender Squire acoustic.
Yeah.
And they're good guitars.
Yeah, we got sponsored them. Like we actually wanted the electric.
We wanted the electric, but then
they gave us the acoustic,
which I'm grateful for, because if you're gonna start guitar, start in the acoustic first.
Yeah. And we were just so like grateful. We were playing, and one thing I found was that I always noticed you get a lot of siblings or like duos, and they both play guitar, but it's not ever a guitar and bass.
Girl, be real, because you couldn't play and sing at the same time.
Kind of, but no. And also, my sister is such a bastard. She's very competitive, and she's usually better at some things than me.
No.
So one thing
she picks up things pretty quickly. I've heard that she picks up things really quick. Yeah.
I was gonna say there's no way that my youngest sister, she's younger by 11 months, is gonna fucking boss me around on the guitar. I was like, I'm not gonna take this shit. So I was like, I'll play the instrument you're not gonna play. I'm fucking play the bass.
That's why sometimes if I'm like, can I just pick up your bass? And she's like,
oh, your bass now. Oh, okay.
Fine. You do the bass.
Sometimes we swap. I mean, I love guitar as well. You can express yourself a lot more with guitar. I'm not gonna lie, I love the bass. The bass is everything to me. I love bass driven music, but I just thought, you know what, it doesn't feel natural for me singing, playing the guitar. As soon as I picked up the bass,
she could do it,
and it was like I didn't even have to think. It just felt so natural. I loved it.
But the song that got us both wanting to
play guitar was White Wedding. We love Steve Stevens' style. Like, we were like, oh my fuck, we have to.
Steve Stevens, one of my favorite guitar players of all time as well. He's been on the podcast. Really super guy. I've known him for years, and I'm gonna send him your music after this podcast. I like it.
Well,
because that guy inspired us to like play guitar. Like, there's no one
of my guitar heroes. I was gonna say, your influences growing up, me as on guitar? Did you have any guitar heroes that you looked up to? And Mille, did you have any bass heroes ever? Or was it always your own thing?
For me,
besides Steve Stevens.
For me, I've always loved, obviously Steve Stevens, but also Lindsey Buckingham. I think how he plays is like, I don't know, it's insane. It's almost like he's saying things with his guitar, if that makes sense. I don't know how to explain it.
Rumors, one of your favorite records, right? Isn't it Rumors one of your favorite records? Came out in 1977. And this is where I want to talk about that you guys do have distinctual differences as far as like your musical taste, because you do like more indie classic type of rock music, right? Me, like Joy Division, perhaps.
I like Joy Division. Do you know? But
a lot of times people tell us that we remind them of like Joy Division or even Sonic Youth, and it was before we'd ever heard the like guitar stuff of them.
No, when we did the album Society's Rejects, and we recorded in the UK with Russ Russell,
who does Napalm Death, which is one of my favorite bands.
Really cool guy. But when he heard me doing the parts for the guitar on like Bad Bitch and the song Rather Be Dead on that album, then he was like, oh my god, you sound like just like the guitarist from Joy Division. And I was like,
that's because I listened to him.
Yeah. No, that was
this was before. Okay.
So I was like, okay, and then I listened and I was like, oh shit, you're right. Yeah, it is kind of similar.
Like, but it wasn't a conscious thing.
But people always tell me, oh, you sound like this, or how you play it sounds like this, and I'm like, okay. And then I go on this and I'm like, shit, I wish I'd heard this before.
But no, it's kind of cool that you're picking up stuff that you didn't know has this complete following, because obviously Joy Division is a cult classic type of band.
Yeah,
as well.
Now we're huge fans, like freaking love it.
But well, no, me as a fan, but you like the heavier stuff, right? Yes, because I know that there's a certain type of genre that you guys can agree on, but you're like more into like the heavier Manson, like you mentioned Napalm Death as well. But where would you say your middle ground is? What style of music do you both agree on that you both can say, yeah, we both love this?
Grunge. So it will be like L7, Alice in Chains,
Veruca
Salt,
the Butthole Surfers.
Yeah, we both love grunge, and even Local H. Who else is there? There's
Local H, man. I'm so happy that so little credit goes out to Local H, and one of my favorite. They're a very cool duo.
I know, it's crazy for two people. That
sound
so
is
cool.
Fucking insane.
And it's so cool that he has like a bass pickup in his guitar too, so he can switch between the two. That's crazy.
Wow. This is the first time on the podcast where I've been, because I do, Vic and I do, and Federica, we all do a lot of research on the script, and we try to find out like what sort of influences, which directions we can go. But this is the first time I've really been surprised by you guys mentioning Local H, because they're I mean, they're very, very, very underrated. One of my favorite bands is
same with us.
Yeah.
Very cool. All right. So, I mean, there's so much to get into. I know we're talking about your story. I know that we're talking about where we're up to right now, because you are getting busy to do live stream after live stream after live stream. I have to admit that this entire interview is responsible because of the Soap Girl fans, and you have a very special name for people that follow the Soap Girls. What do you call them? Your fans?
Our soap suds. Like literally, it's the most amazing community of people, all different. I mean, no one is there to judge or it's like people call it a cult. For me, it's just a lot of different individuals that, again, stand up for what they believe in, and they're not afraid to be themselves.
Because I think, especially in today's society, people are so scared to be themselves because they get judged so much. So with us, it's a safe space to just be whoever the fuck
you can be a
cross
cross-dresser, you can be a nun, it doesn't matter.
As long as you're not a pedo or like you hurt animals or anything like that, then you can fuck off. But if you're not, then it's fine.
Yeah.
As long as you don't have the telltale signs of a serial killer, you're welcome in the Soap Girls, or maybe even a couple.
Yeah, we'll leave a bit of a gap.
Would Ted Bundy be sort of considered? Maybe, I don't know.
I don't know, man. It depends, like who, like, if someone,
maybe if he bought an album.
Yeah, we could. No, I'm joking. Oh my God.
Celebrating their Jack Daniels endorsement right there, the Soap Girls. Now, hold on one quick second, because there is so much with the limited time that we have with the Soap Girls today. There are so many questions that came in from a bunch of great soap suds, as you call them. So let's take a really quick, like 1 minute break for our sponsors, if we can, and I think we'll go for our CliC eyewear gear or our Beyerdynamic headphones and microphones that we're doing. And actually, you know what? That's true. Hughes and Kettner. Me and I both play the Hughes and Kettner amps, and that's sort of how I was initially turned on to you guys. You know what, Vic? Why don't you play the Hughes and Kettner ad right now? Because this will be perfect for the Soap Girls and Ryan Roxie. A little combination. Can someone get me a bottle of Jack Daniels so I can put it between my legs? And then
hello, Ryan Roxie here, and I get a lot of questions lately regarding the current guitar amp setup that I'm using. Well, here's the answer. It's the Hughes and Kettner Black Spirit 200 floor model. Because it's roughly the same size as a compact pedal board, it can fit on any stage or desktop easily. But don't let the size fool you. Inside it's packed with a 200-watt power amp, a ton of presets and programming options, built-in Redbox Direct technology, plus all the built-in effects you'd want. And the secret behind the tone? Well, that's the Bionic Spirit Tone Generator, which is fully programmable on the amp by using its built-in Bluetooth to connect to the app, which works seamlessly with both iPad and Android devices. But probably the best thing about the Black Spirit 200 is that it's easy to use. With its user-friendly setup, I managed to get a great tone going within just a couple of minutes of plugging in. If you're looking for that perfect, compact, all-around amp that covers you in the studio, on the stage, and even live streaming, this is the one. Check out the links for the Hughes and Kettner Black Spirit below or in the description, and let's get rolling. Speaking of rolling, on with the show.
Here you go. We are here with the Soap Girls. Oh, we lost one of the Soap Girls.
She was unplugging her pedal, but there was
the same one.
There it is. Yeah. Oh my God. Okay, you know what? This is Hughes and Kettner's going to be really happy about this. I'm going to show you. Well, I can't show you mine. I have mine right down there on the grass. There it is. Soap Girls.
I'm holding it straight.
And Hughes and Kettner.
These are so
How did you
cool.
get turned on to them? Because was it because of the following that you guys have all over Europe now? Was it touring there, or how did Hughes and Kettner come into your life, girls?
You know, so we did some shows, and well, we did quite a few shows.
A lot of shows.
We love touring in Germany. The people are really cool.
Super rock.
And a guy, Deutschland. A guy from the booking agency in Europe. He came to a show, and then he was like, hey, well, have you ever tried Hughes and Kettner amps? And then the guy saw our show, and then they were like, well, here we go, you can try some of our amps out. And I was like, fuck yeah, definitely, I love them.
I could definitely see Soap Girls and Alice Cooper doing some sort of touring together throughout Europe, because the thing is, you guys have this distinct punk energy, raw vibe that is consistent with certain albums of Alice that I really like, that we never get to visit all that much on tour, like Zipper Catches Skin, or albums like the one that Clones is on as well, and maybe even some of the garage rock bands album like Eyes of Alice Cooper or Dirty Diamonds. So you never know, maybe someday we share the same stage, because
our
really
minds
cool.
would be blown. Like we'd probably be like pinching ourselves like, the fuck is this real? Like that would be insane.
And we can share amps too, you and me.
I would be honored. Like your playing is like,
Well, the thing is, I wanted to talk a little bit about equipment. Again, there's so much to talk about, and I know we have so little time, and I feel that this Soap Suds community all throughout the world that has been tuning in to In the Trenches today, we thank you very much for that. I know you're going to go check out the SoapGirls live stream as soon as we wrap this one up, but make sure you tell more people about In the Trenches, and if you are listening, hit that subscribe button your first time. There's a little button there to hit that subscribe button that Vic, our producer, will put on, but Vic is putting up all these amazing pictures of the SoapGirls. We have Mille and me with us, and we'd like to talk a little bit. So many great questions from the fans and the Soap Suds that came in, and it's going to go a little bit all over the place. So I'll try and get as many of them in as I can. And if I don't get enough of them in, we can always maybe do part 2. What do you say, girls? This is fun.
Definitely.
We'd be very honored.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah. So here we go, SoapGirls. Why don't you like Brian Ferry? This comes from Kathy Grant. She wrote a couple things. Do you not like Brian Ferry? Is there a reason why you don't like Brian Ferry? Or is there no story behind that? Brian Ferry.
I didn't ever know anything about that.
There's some sort of controversy that Kathy Grant has put up. She's a Soap Sud inside the head, and now we don't know. Okay, well, maybe she has a second question. If this one you guys have no idea about, I'm going to definitely DM Kathy Grant.
I know the name, but
why do I know the name? Brian Ferry.
It's an English artist, I think. I don't know.
Brian
who the hell, Brian Ferry?
No, don't say that next
Well,
thing.
I don't care. You can shoot me. I'm sorry for my ignorance.
Brian Ferry's the lead singer of Roxy Music. So
no, we don't have any beef.
No,
there's no beef. I mean, you could pick so many people that you might have beefs with. You know, the South African government. You can pick it. You can pick it.
Like Brian. No, like I don't know. Like I know the name, but I'm thinking like I've never had any. Like no.
All right, we do a section fact or fiction. That was definitely fiction, Kathy Grant.
Oh no, I know
fiction
why.
On that.
Because I think
what happened?
No, it's true because we met him and then what did he do? Didn't he hit you with? I'm just joking. I know.
No, what the hell?
It's good. You had me going. I was there.
Me too. I was like, man, hit me. What the fuck?
Maybe he did. Let's hear about this one. Let's see if there's any truth to this. What's the story about the bucket of blood incident in Hastings?
Oh, well,
so that was
our
really
first tour,
up.
and we didn't really know anything about the UK at all, and we just this like crazy DIY band, and we drove 6 hours to get to a venue,
and a little Postman Pat fucking red van thing,
and
Postman
Pat the venue.
And they were like just very antagonistic, like, "What the fuck are you doing here?
Like, why are you playing on a fucking Sunday?
You're
no one plays on a Sunday.
You're from South Africa. You're racist." And we're like,
no,
dude, like, what the hell?
And then they're like, we're like, well, can we just go in and do the sound check and set up, maybe?
But from the beginning, it was just very like
hostile.
And when we got on stage, 3 songs in,
then someone came from the
two
side
people came
door.
in through the side door, and they chucked. My head was down, and I just remember all this liquid. That smelled like vinegar on my bass guitar and like on my chest, and I was like, "The fuck!" I wanted to say, "Dude, did you see what happened to me?"
Yeah,
I was
looking down in my hands, and then when I looked up, then like all this stuff went up my nose, and I was like blind in the one eye because like all the I don't know whatever the fuck that was.
It smelled like vinegar, and it eroded a lot of our gear as well.
Yeah.
It was so fucked up, and we didn't want to stop because they were taunting us. And the woman who got me, she kept trying to smash the mic stand into my face. Our manager had to stop her, and then she got punched and kicked. It was just you know what? We were so shocked. Before that, I was like,
good time.
But basically, it turned out that the owner of the venue, he'd called this whatever it was attack to happen on us, and he said he wanted to teach us a lesson because we are damaging to the feminist movement and sell out sluts. There we go. That's what he said.
Wow,
That was his quote.
There couldn't have been any truth that same blood that was thrown on you was the blood that you guys tried to sell earlier in your career.
Unfortunately, no. Unfortunately, no.
That would have been sick. I would have drunk it, man.
Yeah.
But no,
that smelled like shit.
So yeah, that was just, it was really fucked up. And I don't know, you know what?
So there is some truth to this Hastings story. The thing is, I remember watching, that is a fact. I remember watching a video that you guys have done that actually has a ton of blood in it. Did any of that have to do with any reenactments of that, or was that a completely different?
No, that video was after that.
Yeah.
That was after that. So
that's what I'm saying. Did you have any sort of what do you call PDS or not PMS?
PTSD.
PTSD.
I do. When I play shows, I usually have something that I'm ready. Like if someone ever attacks me, I won't think twice to like see. I kept getting flashbacks, feeling like a victim. I was so shocked, and the bounce at the venue was like, "Oh, sorry, I was in the toilet. I didn't see anything happen, and the cameras weren't working tonight."
So it's like, wow, isn't that strange?
Because we should have gone to the cops, and we wanted to, but people said they wouldn't do anything.
But we went afterwards to the charge because I mean, if you were walking down the street and someone came
fucking
and
breaks your gear, man.
Doesn't matter even if it's fucking water or shit or whatever onto you. That's assault. Like,
but you see, now I'm different. So after that, I got, not that I'm aggressive, but I don't ever want to feel like that again. So I will stand my ground.
And also our equipment got like wrecked. So that was really shit.
And we're just a DIY band.
That is shit. And especially, I mean, especially the equipment that you guys do use that you're such a fan of. I know that you like your Ibanez Jivas as well, right? That's one of your favorite. And Mille, you like your
dark glass pedals.
Well, you also like your Ibanez Destroyer basses.
That bass is like literally my soul. I'm going to make it my mission. I've got a red one from the 80s. It's waiting for me in the UK. As soon as we get on the road, I'm playing that cherry red baby.
But even
candy apple red, they actually call it. It's just so you know, back in the 1980s when I was first learning guitar, before you guys were ever born.
It sounded like you said 1930s.
It could have been. I don't know. It's all filters at this point. The thing is, I used to be such a huge fan of the Ibanez Destroyer guitar model. And when they first came out, they were called the Ibanez Destroyer 2, and they came out in candy apple red, which is, I think, the color you're talking about, and an ice blue. Wow. And I don't know if you've seen the blue color, but yeah, I actually traded a Fender Stratocaster, not a Hello Kitty Stratocaster, but an actual Fender Stratocaster for this Ibanez Destroyer because I liked it. And I actually do still own an Ibanez Destroyer. So maybe when we move down to South Africa, we'll compare Destroyers. What do you say?
That would be awesome. Yeah. Mine's played over, or probably around 500 shows. So it's got some nicks in it, man. It is fucked up, but I love it.
I'm sorry to bring you back to Hastings incident, but I want to move on to more good news and more good times. You're very punk rock, though, to be honest with you, to get that blood thrown on you and then survive it, get more aggressive about it, and now be as independent as you are. Because I think it's had quite the opposite effect of what you're saying with the women's movement. I think
we actually wanted to leave initially. After that happened, we were like, we had been telling people, wow, the UK is so amazing. It's not like South Africa. It's safe. And people
were like, nah, it's
open-minded. We're like, we're going to go. And then we're like, no, fuck them. We're going to write a track. And we wrote Bad Bitch.
Yeah.
And it actually lit a fire on us. And we were like, you know what? People want to try to bring us down. We are going to fucking fight harder. And we're like, fuck this.
It's like, yeah, you want to call me names or whatever? Fine. I don't give a fuck. I'm still going to be me.
Now, does that sort of go in with part, and this is a good question because this comes from John Darren Swan. You know him very well.
Yes.
And he's actually one of the champions, one of the big major soap suds that got this whole thing together. One of his questions is, what are the SoapGirls' core ethos and beliefs as a band?
As a band,
we believe in standing up for what you believe in, going after your dreams no matter what, and just staying true to yourself.
And also just be kind. Don't be a dick. Yeah.
Okay.
And freedom.
Freedom. Just absolute freedom. You see, a lot of the time people don't like what other people have to say, but the fact that they can express it, that is freedom.
And also our fans mean the world to us. Like, I know a lot of people, they might say it or whatever, but to us, like, we fucking really appreciate our fans. Yeah.
We have a very close bond, which is fucking awesome. Like even on stage, we see
is
them
that
naked
John
on stage.
Swan's John Swan's smooth nice waxed butt right there? Is that?
Unfortunately, that's not. That's
no,
not
that was
in Holland. Yeah,
it was pretty cool.
Oh, in Holland, everybody's butt is smooth. So this might be another Brian Ferry question. I have no idea, but this is again another John Darren Swan question from the Soap Suds sort of group. What do you think of Sam Debray? Sam Debray. Well, who is that? Is that more
she's
anger?
Around the corner, so we don't want to say anything.
So
no, we're joking. She's fucking amazing.
She's cool.
She is literally the nucleus of us. We would not be who we are without her. She's the wildest, but in the best kind of way, person.
Yeah.
She is fucking amazing. She is the most resilient, hardworking, and if
she's
the world,
she's a bad bitch.
Yeah, if the world feels like it's falling apart, I promise you, she's the person you want by your side. She will,
and also she'll
fix it.
Everything that she's been through, and like with us also growing up, and we've seen, she's never ever given up. So
and she's never become a shit person to anyone. She's had the most radical life of anyone that I've ever met. She's been through shit, man.
But the fact that she still treats people with kindness is beyond me, because I know a lot of people that have been through some heavy shit and they
use it as an excuse to be a crap person.
Yeah, so.
And she's there helping out with every single live stream that you guys do, right?
She fucking does everything.
Even,
she's like an octopus.
Even on tours when her leg was broken at a show, she was still driving the tour van. We didn't know how to drive at the time, so otherwise we sound terrible. But she does everything. She films, she designs the merch. She is absolutely fucking amazing. She's the only person whose opinion we care, like with music. We like, Sam, what do you think? And she'll be like, dude, straight up, this sucks.
Yeah.
Well, let's talk a little bit about that, those live streams and how they all came about. Because you know what? At the top of the program, I neglected to sort of pay tribute for you guys actually like forging through these live streams with all these performances when you both came down with COVID just recently now. And how are you feeling, and how was that whole experience for you?
Something else happened, so I won't say it because there's a lot of people who
Why don't you just say it?
Okay, well,
just say it.
I don't know how. I'm not gonna say anything that's gonna rock anyone's world or whatever. Like, if you're for it, if you're against it, that's on you. I don't give a shit. But Sam and I, because we want to travel, we're all gonna have to get that magical puncture in our skin, let me just say it. And I hate needles, but I just thought, you know what, I was feeling really good in the beginning of December. I was like, I'm gonna just fucking get it over and done with. And so was Sam. My sister wasn't with us at the time.
I didn't get it.
And then within half an hour of getting it, I literally collapsed, and Sam had to drag me into the car. I got home and I thought, okay, let me just sleep this off and I'll be all right. And it was the most severe pain. So I got like the most hectic inflammation. Sam got it.
And then I got COVID, and then my brother got COVID.
And then Sam and I had that magical thing, and then we got COVID on top, and it just, it was bad.
Yeah, well, I mean,
do the shows.
Like even when you're doing the live stream, and like we've had situations on tour where like you've been so sick, but you just have to be like, you know what, just fucking do the show. Like even on stage, I've shat myself on stage. Like I've been really ill, and people I've been like, okay, last song.
Shit dripping down her legs,
and then I ran off stage to go to the bathroom to obviously like clean myself up. It was in Switzerland. And then people were like, no, uncle. And I was like, fuck. And then
there's something about the adrenaline and being an encore that'll cure everything. Maybe if everybody could just actually get up on stage and play. Even then I could
kind of still pull through. But then when I was that sick with the COVID thing, even on the live stream, I had to I was like, I'm sorry, I can't.
Yeah,
it hit you guys pretty hard. It definitely hits you guys pretty hard. But it hit you guys equally.
The ones with the magical potion, that was
really. Ah, okay. See, that's interesting because for me and a lot of people that I've been talking to that have gotten this strain, that, you know, I think South Africa gets a bad rap for saying the South Africa strain because South Africa was the one that actually discovered it first, and their scientists actually found this new strain, they get tagged with a name. Oh, it's yours, you know?
Yeah, because it was a South African doctor that found it, but it's like it doesn't even fucking come from there.
Yeah. I know. So you guys got credit. That's not the type of credit that you guys want. But from, like I said, it's going to be debatable, and I can see why it is one of those things. The Soap says there's probably different opinions. It's same thing with an Alice Cooper concert. You go to an Alice Cooper concert, you're going to find the most conservative of the conservative, the most liberal of the liberal. But the reason why we all like to meet there is because all that shit goes away once we start plugging in and playing. And that's hopefully, you know, the one thing that is the great combiner, the great mediator is loud, abrasive rock and roll. I'm hoping.
Exactly. No, it's the same with our shows. We've got people who love guns. Then we got people who are like, oh, guns are evil. And then we got religious people, irreligious people. It's fucking amazing.
Or you'll get someone that is blind or visually impaired, and then someone that's not. But then that all just disappears when the music plays, because it doesn't fucking matter.
Yeah, no one's judging anyone. It's just freedom, pure freedom.
And they can probably hear it better than someone that actually has all their sights.
Exactly. Especially if you make a bum
to me, it's the biggest compliment when visually impaired people say, I love your music, because I know that they're hearing everything.
That's why even like some people will say to us, oh, but you know, why do you dress the way that you do? It's selling sex and blah, blah, blah. But it's like,
who got so tame? Fucking hell, there's no rock and roll nowadays, man.
It's like, Jesus Christ.
And isn't this all about your choice as well? This is all, you know, you guys make the decision to do whatever you want every time. And I don't understand how certain platforms get deplatformed. Other platforms you can last forever.
We've had our Instagram taken down. It was so shit.
Yeah, we had to restart all
8 years of work.
Same with
you've had Facebook taken down too, right?
Yeah. That was the South African government, because we said something against them, like what they were doing at the time.
We spoke out about like the farm murders. We speak out about different things. I mean, what use is having a voice or
if you can't use it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like it. I really do. You know what? We are going to have a part 2 with the Soap Girls, because I know that you guys are getting ready for your upcoming live stream. But we have you here right now, Soap Girls, in the trenches, and we thank all the Soap Suds for showing up, as well as the In the Trenches group. I think our two sort of groups of fans can sort of meld, and we can actually, you know, everybody that's watching In the Trenches right now, regular listeners and regular watchers, go check out the Soap Girls after we're done with this interview as well. But there's still a few questions I have from some of your Soap Suds, and I think this is important because of it talks about the live streams that you do, and you've done at this point almost 300. Is that, am I right with saying that? Is that sort of?
I think I try to work it out. I think we're on week 94, and we do 4 live streams a week, but only 3 of them are face paint and themed.
But even, thank God, Sam, like when this
is how it happened.
When this COVID thing first hit, she was like, this isn't going to be like a few week.
She said it was in March 2020. She said, guys, the day before the army rolls out and locks everyone indoors,
let's go get supplies, and we're going to build a stage and a whole thing, and you're just going to live stream then till we
and
can
that's
get
basically where you are filming this right now, right? You're on
no
your
we
stage.
actually moved house.
We had to move house
because of the cops being called on us. And then we were still doing live streams while we were fucking moving, and just in a tiny little car.
Yeah.
So she's using Kettner amps, man. They're too loud. They're way too loud. I love it. But the thing is, we decided to do that with Vic and I and the whole, what I was doing when the pandemic hit, but we put one show together, Sunday live stream Sundays. But you guys have put together not just theme shows, but you've also put together Acoustic Mondays. So one of the questions coming in, and this is from one of your, I don't know if he's the president of the Soap Girl fan club, but Tom House, Mike Gould, some of your biggest supporters.
Yeah.
They're wondering,
They're
wondering how do the Acoustic Mondays differ from the theme shows, and what goes into, coming up with different ideas for themes? How do you guys keep coming up with a different type of idea? Because there's a lot of role playing, acting, almost like, if you will, vaudeville going on.
Sometimes we're like, what the fuck
like,
are we doing?
Even sometimes, like Sam will say to someone like, "Oh, look at their live streams," and she'll play the video, and I'm even looking, I'm like,
"Whoa, these people are fucked up." Oh, it's
me.
Us.
Okay,
because I don't know, we just don't. You know, if you're doing that many live streams, there's only so many times you can
play the same
in the same
songs
environment. So you got to change it up.
And also we have very elastic imaginations.
We love cartoons. Cartoons are what taught us English and also gave us our sense of identity.
And also our sense of humor is very fucked up.
Especially yours, dude. You scare me.
Like maybe
it's very morbid. Sometimes I'm even like, fuck, dude. Like,
can I tell about the candy? It's ashes.
No.
Oh, okay.
Why would you say that?
Like, I'll tell you something. So I had a little Chihuahua dog, and she was like my baby. And my brother, that was
our brother. Why do you keep calling him your brother? What the hell?
Our brother, that was like, I hope he doesn't watch this. And no one can say anything to him.
He will flip his nuts off.
Yeah,
is this a Soap Girl exclusive? I think this is.
Our brother's autistic.
There she is, a little black dog. So unfortunately, we had to put her to sleep because she was so old and she was 16 and just not doing well,
falling over and shit.
But he insisted that she get cremated so that she could have the ashes, because we're renting this house. So it's like, why would you bury your dog at a rental?
I would drive by and wave.
Okay, but anyway, so he wanted to have her because he wants like a piece of it, because that was like, he would give her 100 kisses every single day. And so we were wondering, why is it taking so long for the vet to give us back the ashes? And
they lost the ashes.
They lost her. So
our mom said,
she said, I don't give a fuck.
What did you said? You're gonna get
a little jar and you're gonna put
the name on. You're gonna make it fancy, and you're gonna put fucking
firewood or something in there.
No, ashes from a fireplace, and you're gonna pretend that is the dog's ashes.
I would get it and show you, because I opened it and I was like, are you fucking kidding me?
It looks like dog turds in there.
Was there like cigarette ashes in there as well? It could have been a little punk rock.
Someone wants to ash in it to make it look
more realistic, yeah.
And I'm just like, oh my god. Like, I would cry if I didn't have such a fucked up sense of humor, because I want to, but I'm laughing because it's so ridiculous that it's like, who does,
what the fuck, man?
How does that happen? Like, how do you
how did we get to this amount of sharing? And I really hope your brother isn't going to have to go into therapy for this one story, but
he will go insane.
He will go mental. Like, we cannot even tell him.
Okay, well, so everybody, we make a pact here right now that nobody tells the Soap Girls brother.
Yeah.
Is your brother, is he musical? Does he have aspirations? Does he play as well?
So he loves rapping
and acting. That's his passion. But he plays drums for us just because we don't. During the lockdown, it's difficult to find people, like when there's curfews and that, to come over and play. So he's been helping us out. Oh my god.
Can I show you something?
Oh no.
No, don't tell me. Is it the urn? Oh, yeah, there's candy. There's candy.
But also, how could it be such a small one? I know she was a small dog, but I mean, come on. And then look in the inside. Like, are you kidding me?
It's not fucking. That's not the fucking ashes, bro.
Not ashes. That's
the
fucking
coal.
Okay, that looks like a wood chip. Unless exactly. The dog with my okay. This is exclusive Soap Girl stuff, but we're keeping it amongst us right now in the I don't even know where to go through that. I don't even know where to go from there. I wish your brother the best rapping career, and I don't know how you're gonna not look at him playing drums on your live stream in just a few minutes and not think about that story. But
he's gonna be praying to this. He's gonna be like saying prayers and kissing and hugging this, and I'm just like I'm not gonna look at him.
You know what? Candy's with you guys right now. Apparently we got into this whole story about through themes of your live streams. And do you have a specific theme that you're going to go for tonight to give?
Zombies.
Watching right now. What is it?
Zombies. We can show you the room.
Yeah, we started sorting out the room.
I don't know.
There it is. So by the time you're watching, if you're watching this on a delay, you will see that this will be the set for the new Soap Girls live stream that starts very soon. Like I said, I want to get you guys back. If that's cool, we can have you reoccurring.
Be on it. Like seriously, it would like be the
I'm being respectful of your start time as well, because I know that I want to thank Vic, I want to thank Federica, I want to thank everybody that's helped out with putting in all these questions. I'm sorry I didn't get to all of them, all the Soap Suds questions that we had, but one in particular, we have Darren Swan. We have Tom Darren Swan. We want to give him the honor of being this week's fan of the week for. I said Tom. It's John. It's John Darren Swan. And I don't know his name, Darren. It was supposed to be in the actual clip there, Vic. Don't worry about it, though. That was John Darren Swan. You are our fan of the week. I don't know. Do you guys have special awards that you give out your fans, or do you do certain things? What do you guys do?
We do. So with every single live stream, then in the beginning of the show, then we'll do like a
crazy song to say thanks to like fans, like for buying merch and tickets, virtual tickets. We don't charge for the shows, but
people
if it wasn't for people supporting us, like we would be homeless. And like just having the support and knowing that we can get out on the road again, that's like honestly what amazing people we have supporting us.
But we'll take the names from a hat, and then we can show you the hat.
Yeah,
it's right there.
Okay.
There you go. Shit. As long as it's not the candy bucket. Okay.
No.
Oh God, no.
But you can't multi-purpose that.
But so we take the name from here, and then the first name to be drawn, then they're the set list winner,
and then we send them a prize.
We'll send them something. Yeah.
Wow.
Sometimes it's a dirty sock or
used condom.
Yeah.
No, we're joking.
No, it's nice things.
So lovely.
Nice things.
You treat your fans with such love. You know what? Next time you guys come back, we're going to have to talk about. See, I'm going to view it as your 5th studio album, but some of the fans here have called it your 4th studio album. Because do you consider that first album that you did with Universal? Do you consider that a SoapGirls album, or even the first?
It sounds weird, but we don't, only because it's just very confusing.
And also there were other albums
before that never got released.
They wouldn't release it because I don't know, they like to hold on to things.
The record label like screwed us over a lot.
So we would be talking about your 4th studio album that you guys might be making or sort of in the process of, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
We can't wait for people to hear.
It's so different to any of the other ones, and that's what makes us happy. It's always an evolution.
And also we've tried with this album, so some of the songs
we've been doing ourselves completely without a studio.
Well, for the time being, they're going to have to wait for that 4th studio album. We're going to have you back on when we can talk more about it, maybe give some Easter eggs out. I love that title, Elephant in the Room. I really do. But for right now, look at Vic, our producer, is putting up all the pictures that he could find of your albums.
Oh my God. You know what? I'm so proud of that album for what it is. You know what? That was the best that we could do at that time, and we were kids. I'm grateful for everything. It led me to being where I am now and knowing what I want.
All I remember from that the picture on the front was they gave us catering, and we were really hungry because we had like fuck all at the time because they sucked, the record label. And then they had like all this food, but we're vegetarian. And then the guy was like, "Oh, these are nice," and it's like, well, everything's beef, so it's like. Well, thanks,
dude. How can you remember that? Oh my God, it really touched you.
No, even places that we played, I remember the place by the food.
You know what? You delegate. What you have to do is delegate certain brain cells for certain things. I have the hardest time with names, and people say, "Oh, I can remember your face," or "I can remember a name." I can't remember people's names or their faces, but I can remember 70s lyrics from, like you would say, a Fleetwood Mac album or a Cheap Trick album from way back in the day. And you know what? You're going to make me want to go back and listen to some Local H right now when we finish this up.
Hey.
But this song, High Fiving Motherfucker.
High fiving motherfucker. Dun, dun, dun.
You high fiving motherfucker.
What's the song? The Kids Are Right. I think the Kids Are Right is one of my favorite Local H songs, because it talks about how the record companies think they know what's going on, but it's always the kids that know what's right or wrong. And down 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 down. Oh, I love it. All right, I'm going to go back. But you know what I'm going to do first? I'm going to check out your live stream, which is coming up in just a few minutes. So I'm going to ask you to tell everybody that's watching the podcast right now where they can find you and watch all your live stream performances, SoapGirls. So Mille and me, please go at it. What are your best ways for people to get in touch with you?
Okay, first of all, we're very interactive, so we answer and do everything ourselves.
But you can find us on Instagram
at the.soapgirls, because we had to do a new one. Thanks, Instagram.
And then Facebook is the SoapGirls, and
Twitter is the_SoapGirls. You can also find us on YouTube, the SoapGirls Official,
And then
on Spotify as well.
And on Mondays and Saturdays, then we live stream on YouTube. And then Thursdays and Fridays, it's on our Facebook page.
Yeah.
Well, there you go. I look forward to seeing you guys, having you guys back in the trenches at a similar date that we can sort of figure out. But thank you so much for taking the time. And I guess last thing I could say, because I asked this of all our guests, is there one piece of advice, or is there one piece of that you can give out that you've learned that's helped you sort of get through this thing called life that you can pass on to everybody else?
Always have good intentions. You can never go wrong if you're living your life through love and always having a good intention. I mean, look, things go fucked up, but as long as that's our dog snoring.
It wasn't a fox.
Yeah.
It wasn't Candy. The ghost of Candy. Not the ghost of Candy.
If you live your life through love and you are also non-judgmental, you will have a very happy life. Obviously there's ups and downs, but you will never have any regrets. But I guess people forget that love literally is essential to everything, and they just, I don't know, they forget it. They lose touch of themselves, and then they get judgmental.
And also I would say that this saying always sticks with me, but I think it says, I don't know if I'm saying it right, but this too shall pass. So just always remember, yes, things may be shitty or whatever, but it's not always going to be like that. So just hang on. And also maybe if you don't have love for yourself, then do something nice for someone else, and that will make you happy.
Yeah. And believe in yourself, because I promise you no one else will until you do.
And also don't be so harsh on yourself. Yeah.
Actually, no, you should be sometimes.
No, but sometimes people are really harsh on themselves, and it's like, geez.
No, when I've drunk too much, then I'm like, you piece of shit. And then I'm like, don't ever do this to yourself again. Okay, and then I'm like, I'll never do it again.
And then the next day.
No, dude, no. After that last time, I'll never do that again.
It's so funny, though, because she drinks and I don't drink. So it's like we balance each other out.
You guys balance yourselves out in so many ways, musically, personality-wise, performance-wise. I can hardly wait to check out the live stream that's coming up in just a few minutes. But I feel like we've opened up a lot of fortune cookies just now and just gotten so much knowledge from you guys.
Can I ask you one thing? Have you ever, like, if you can answer, have you ever played a show on magic mushrooms or acid?
Yes and yes. Well, actually, not magic mushrooms. Is ecstasy or Molly or whatever you would call it. Back in the I'm old school. It would be called ecstasy, and that would be, again in the 1990s and stuff. So I did learn a very valuable lesson. Never play a show on cocaine. That's a terrible idea. And I don't know if either of you guys have, or maybe me's the one that doesn't do drugs, and maybe you are, but I don't have, again. And I don't know if Candy, died of an OD or anything like that. I don't want to bring up bad things, but the thing is, never do blow before a show. It would be
never do blow before a show.
Is it? That's not good life advice. I mean, it's good life advice, but it doesn't.
Maybe
fit on a T-shirt or
something.
Don't
do blow before a show.
But maybe it is a new shirt idea, Vic. I love it.
Yeah.
All right, I'm going to let you guys think about it. And until next time we get you on In the Trenches, thank you very much, Soap Suds, for joining us. Thank you very much, In the Trenches Faithful, for being here every single week. Our guest next week, we have an album artist who makes a lot of Alice Cooper artwork, and I know Vic is looking for it, Ernie Shelfalou. I know I'm totally torturing the name, but Ernie Shelfalou, we will see you next week. We will start promoting that. But tonight and for the rest of this week, it's all about the Soap Girls. Enjoy, guys. Woo! Have a great one. Until next time, folks.
Thank you.
Mille, me, Soap Girls. I'm Ryan Roxie. This is my advice. Don't do blow before a show, and enjoy the ride.
Trenches with Ryan Roxie.